June 3, 2018, 9:33 p.m. Last updated June 4, 2018, 3:09 p.m. News analysis. The man portrayed as the key shadowy broker between the Russian government and the campaign of then-candidate Donald Trump turns out to have been closely tied to people high up in European politics and intelligence circles, while his Russian contacts turned out to be shallow at best. It was Maltese academic Joseph Mifsud who, around April 26, 2016, told volunteer advisor to the Trump campaign George Papadopoulos that the Russians had dirt on rival presidential candidate Hillary Clinton and thousands of her emails. Papadopoulos tried to downplay his talks with Mifsud when interviewed by the FBI, thus perjuring himself, according to his guilty plea. The plea describes Mifsud as having substantial connections to Russian government officials. He's even been called a Russian spy in the media, but a deep dive into his background paints a different picture. After getting degrees in education and philosophy, Mifsud started his career in 1997 at the University of Malta, where he was appointed the head of the Department of Education. He traveled a lot, meeting foreign dignitaries, and eventually made contact with Vincenzo Scotti, former Minister of Interior and Minister of Foreign Affairs in Italy. Scotti and his director of Italian domestic intelligence were previously ordered by a court to each pay some $3.8 million, money they defrauded from the official funds of the intelligence agency to fund the agency's black operations. According to Manuel Delia, a veteran official under two prime ministers of Malta, Mifsud and Scotti helped start Link Campus University in Rome in 1999. Scotti became its director. Link Campus is the key to understanding Mifsud's future endeavors. The entrance of the Link Campus University in Rome, Italy. Screenshot via Google Street View. A curious institution. Link's campus is a Renaissance manor less than a mile from Vatican City. It offers degrees in performing arts, fashion design, economics, and digital communication. But it also provides courses in cybersecurity engineering and international studies. Until 2016, Link offered master's degrees in intelligence and security as well as behavioral analysis and applied sciences in intelligence and homeland security. These two courses later disappeared from Link's website. The CIA and FBI have sent their officers to lecture at Link. In 2004, the CIA and Link organized a conference in Rome attended by intelligence and police officials of nearly 30 countries, including then CIA Deputy Director for Intelligence Jamie Mischik, The Washington Post reported. Former CIA analyst Stephen Marin was a guest lecturer at Link. Good intelligence studies program in Italy at Link Campus Uni, Marin said in a 2015 tweet. Focus on intelligence analysis and national security. The U.S. Embassy in Rome sent FBI Special Agent Preston Ackerman to conduct a seminar at Link in September 2016, according to an investigation by columnist Lee Smith. That embassy is where the FBI stationed Michael Guida, the FBI point man for contact with former MI6 British intelligence agent Christopher Steele, who put together a dossier in 2016 on alleged Trump-Russia relations. The dossier was characterized by then FBI Director James Comey as salacious or unverified. The dossier is the cornerstone of the Trump-Russia collusion theory that, after 2 years of investigation, remains unsubstantiated. Link is also loosely tied to cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike, the sole source of evidence that Russian hackers stole the Democratic National Committee emails that WikiLeaks released starting July 22, 2016. Andrew Bagley, former FBI advisor and, since 2015, privacy counsel to CrowdStrike, was a visiting researcher at Link in 2010, according to his 2015 resume. The location of the Link Campus University in Rome, Italy. Screenshot via Google Maps. Who is Mifsud? It's not clear what official role Mifsud actually had at Link. He's been named as a lecturer and photographed as a panel speaker at Link. In a 2013 mini-bio, he was called its Director of International Relations. Mifsud is a person who collaborates with us, said a person at Link campus when The Guardian called the school last year. One of Mifsud's roles appears to have been recruiting young foreign diplomats. In 2008, he was appointed director of the newly formed Euro-Mediterranean University, EMUNI. Mifsud traveled the region, through Egypt, Tunisia, Spain, the United Arab Emirates, Turkey, and also Russia. During his 2011 Moscow trip, he discussed sending a group of young Russian diplomats to study at EMUNI. But in 2012, Mifsud resigned, or was made to resign, from EMUNI. An audit showed that Mifsud incurred over $30,000 of wrongly claimed expenses, Times of Malta reported. EMUNI later distanced itself from Mifsud's further activities. Sometime in 2012, he became the honorary director of the London Academy of Diplomacy, LAD. In this capacity, he continued to mingle in academic circles, now openly focusing on up-and-coming diplomats. The lad boasted it had trained diplomats of dozens of countries, including Iraq, Afghanistan, and Libya. Its regular contributor was Johnny Pittella, then first deputy president of the European Parliament. Mifsud had known Pittella since at least 2011, and the two maintained a close relationship as Pittella became the leader of the Progressive Alliance of Socialists and Democrats, the second largest power bloc in the European Parliament. Pittella also gave a talk together with Mifsud at a Link Forum on Terrorism in 2015. Joseph Mifsud is a dear friend of mine, Pittella said, according to Italian online paper L'Occidental. Pittella resigned earlier this year after winning a seat in the Italian Senate. He showed up at the 2016 Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia. I have taken the unprecedented step of endorsing on campaigning for Hillary Clinton because the risk of Donald Trump is too high, he told Time magazine. I believe it is in the interest of the European Union and Italy to have Hillary Clinton in office. A Trump victory could be a disaster for the relationship between the USA and Italy. Another associate of Mifsud was Claire Smith, career UK diplomat and former member of the UK Joint Intelligence Committee, a supervisory body overseeing all UK intelligence agencies. She served at the UK Security Vetting and Appeals Panel, which handles appeals of people denied security clearance by the UK government. And she also gave a training to high-ranking Italian military officials in Rome in 2012. The training was organized by Link and the lad. Smith was photographed there standing next to Mifsud. Mifsud and Claire Smith train Italian military and law enforcement officials at Link campus in Rome. Lad had MOD and Foreign Office contacts. They also ran diplomatic training for Commonwealth countries. Twitter.com/U20U4HF8Z, Chris Blackburn, at CJBingo25, March 22, 2018. Mifsud's contacts in Russia seemed lacking, though. When Stefan Rowe, a Swiss-German lawyer, wanted to expand his business in Russia, he hired Mifsud in 2015 to introduce him to some high-level officials. But Mifsud couldn't deliver. The only thing he managed was to get Rowe on a panel discussion in 2016 organized by the Valdai Discussion Club and connect him with Valdai's program director, Ivan Timofeyev, a PR man of sorts in the academic world for the Russian Foreign Affairs Ministry. Valdai is a mingling place for international elites, set up by the Russian government. It's been criticized as being a propaganda stunt. Many foreign dignitaries have attended, such as former French Prime Minister Dominique de Villepin and former Austrian Chancellor Wolfgang Schäuble, and Russian media are usually able to get some positive comments out of them, thus propping up the Kremlin's credibility. Mifsud wasn't any different. Since 2014, he attended several events and wrote 3 articles for Valdai, all with a positive tone towards Russia. Mifsud had his own intent with Rowe. He wanted to convince Rowe to invest in Link, which, according to Delia's sources, always struggled financially and needed to be bailed out time and again by the Italian government through some scheme organized by Scotti. After Mifsud sold Link to Rowe and gave him a tour of its picturesque campus, Rowe agreed to buy a 5% stake in Link in 2015. Rowe and his associate, Thierry Pastor, told Lee Smith. Rowe's account matches Papadopoulos's plea. Papadopoulos started to dabble in the election in 2015 by joining the campaign of then-candidate Ben Carson. In February 2016, just as he was leaving Carson's campaign to join Trump's, Papadopoulos landed a job that would significantly boost his resume, director of the Center for International Energy and Natural Resources, Law and Security at the London Centre of International Law Practice. It's not clear how he got the job. Mifsud was listed as the center's board advisor and, since July 2016, its director of international strategic development. Mifsud met Papadopoulos in Rome around March 14, 2016, and took interest in his joining the Trump team, according to Papadopoulos's plea. The two stayed in contact, and Mifsud later told La Repubblica that he offered to provide contacts in the Arabian Gulf, in Latin America, in Russia, and in the European Council. Papadopoulos knew Trump wanted to improve relations with Russia, just as Obama and Clinton did before him, and he wanted to boost his profile with the campaign by setting up a meeting with some high-level Russian officials. But again, Mifsud failed. First, he introduced Papadopoulos to Olga Pulanskaya, who was a Russian student at Link, according to Russian journalist Alexander Kalinin, who dug into her background. Papadopoulos met with her and Mifsud in London on March 24, 2016, and was given the impression that she was a relative of Russian President Vladimir Putin. But she wasn't related to Putin. She used to work for a liquor wholesaler in St. Petersburg, Kalinin found. Mifsud then introduced Papadopoulos to Timofeev, who was willing to organize a meeting through official channels, the North America desk at the Russian Foreign Ministry. Papadopoulos bombarded the campaign with emails, but in the end, the higher-ups told him that he should go talk to the Russians himself. The meeting never took place. After Mifsud's name was outed in the media, he disappeared. Rowe said he's alive and had been moved to a place far away in Italy. In November and December, it broke him down. He was under so much pressure and cut off from the world. He had no internet or access to communications. Rowe said, "It was Scotty, the head at Link, who told Mifsud to lay low," Rowe and Pastor said. Was it then the Russians who instructed Mifsud to bait Papadopoulos with stories about Clinton's dirt? He said no. Actually, even after he said the FBI interviewed him, he denied mentioning Clinton dirt at all. If he lied to the FBI, he could face perjury charges just as Papadopoulos. But so far, the FBI has shown little interest in him. When Rowe was interviewed by the Bureau's agents, he said, "They didn't even ask about Mifsud." Watch next. This is the tearful moment American citizen Joshua Holt was reunited with his family after landing in the United States, just hours after he was unexpectedly released by Venezuela's socialist government. Share tweet, share email.